and AM 1160. He is Indiana Borough Police Chief Justin Schawl joining us this morning. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. So let's reintroduce you after that emergency call there. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
It's good to have you with us here today. And normally it's the weekend after IUP Homecoming, and you're so extra super busy because you've got a number of things on the docket after an active weekend. Not so much this time. It was very, very nicely done, huh?
Yeah, I think the weekend was very well done from all aspects. We're still busy. We're still unpacking a little bit from the weekend because there was an increase in calls, obviously, because there were an increase in people in police service. But boy, really proud of the performance of the officers, of our partners, and of the student population and their visitors who were, generally speaking, very respectful of Indiana Borough and their roles as ambassadors for IUP. So, yet another homecoming, unlike any that we've had before. But I think this one has a chance to stick in a positive way.
Yeah.
Just because of the general respect shown around town that was observed.
Yeah, it's interesting because you think about what's happened in the past, and you think about the need to always be vigilant in the future. Even though this one goes well, folks need to be reassured that the next big event, you're still going to be there. You're at the ready should something occur.
That's right. We're always going to be planning. We're always going to be preparing. We're always going to be trying to provide a best service, and we're always going to try to be appropriate for the environment that we find ourselves navigating. Generally speaking, the beginning of every college semester, we're trying to understand where the locations of interest or the locations of unrest may be. And as we work through that, we're judging sizes of gatherings throughout the semester and social media, and of course all of the informal means that we gather information. And then we form a response for celebratory weekends like St. Patrick's Day and IUP Homecoming. And so this year was interesting. Of course, we're on the heels of a year where there was no activity.
Sure.
And now we have a student population back for the first time, and we're still in an environment that's generally there's still general health risks, and the best information that we have is that our partners are still navigating those mitigation efforts with complete sincerity, and so we're just trying to fit in, to be right for the community, to be right for the response for these celebratory weekends. And as always, our mission is determined largely by what we're caused to react to. There are lots of things proactively we do. There's lots of planning to be done. There are partners and resources that have to be gathered. But at the end of the day, when we respond to a call, the severity of the call that we're responding to will dictate how the weekend's going to look.
Yeah.
And not minimizing anyone that may have been victimized over the weekend, because I want you to know there were police services rendered, there were emergency medical services rendered, their investigation is still ongoing. We're not out of the weekend unscathed, but without minimizing the trauma to any victim, compared to other weekends of similar proportion, this was very positive and very subdued from an emergency services standpoint.
Yeah. Now, the biggest thing that has been released to us is the robbery, the armed robbery that was reported on Sunday night on West Avenue. And I know you can't go into great detail about investigations that are ongoing right now, but one of the points that people want are we at danger here? Is there something going on around town? And the first thing we should reassure people of is, no, you ought to be good.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So we're not without a few significant investigations over the weekend. On Sunday night, what you're referring to is a robbery, vehicle theft, happened campus adjacent. What we know right now is what we believe and what we know is that it's an isolated event, that there's not a risk to greater public safety. These things don't happen with great frequency in Indiana Borough, and Indiana Borough has great investigators, and we have great resources at our disposal. So we're sifting through all of these things as this report comes in to try and bring as rapid a closure to this incident and the other investigations that we're conducting of significance over the weekend in an expedient manner for the victims. I mean, this is, this really highlights, in a negative way, but highlights the fact that we cannot let our guard down. There are folks in our society intent on causing harm. We have to be prepared for that. We have to have a plan for that. We have to have the resources available to navigate that. But I can tell you that Indiana Borough, and we all know this, we're not accustomed to seeing those things on a regular basis. We don't believe that there's an extended public safety risk. If we did believe that, the public would know through your resource and through all of our other media outlets. And so right now we're just trying to gather as much information as we can to make the best decisions that we can as far as prosecutions.
Yeah, as far as we know, that car has not been recovered.
Car has not been recovered.
Okay. All righty. So that investigation will unfold, and you'll follow all the leads, and eventually this thing will break up, and we'll find out exactly what happened and who these people were. Meanwhile, there are other things going on with Indiana Borough Police, and a really positive thing last week for Axel and the Borough Police Force and Axel's ability to get out and do the job that Axel is supposed to be here for.
That's right. I mean, I'd always rather talk about the positive impacts that we're able to make as opposed to the things that we're reacting to that perhaps aren't that positive. But yeah, a big step in our Comfort Canine program is a partnership with the Indiana County District Attorney's Office. We knew that we had this partnership with the District Attorney's Office, but just recently we were able to have a project completed. Mm-hmm. So we were highlighting a completed project, which is Axel's mode of transportation and Officer Hoag's mode of transportation. So we've re-outfitted an existing Borough police car to accommodate Axel's safety and transport to and from. So this gives our program plenty of flexibility because now Axel can be out and about for the 12 hours that Officer Hoag is out and about, minus, of course, his breaks and, reasonable nap time that he may need to have.
Axel, not Officer Hoag.
That's right. Axel, not Officer Hoag, I would hope. But no, very confident in that. So it gives us more flexibility to provide a better service. And that's what the Comfort Canine program is about, is providing a best service. It's a non-traditional approach, but I've never shied away from non-traditional approaches. Mm-hmm. I think that as we move on 2021 and beyond in police service, that the more successful non-traditional approaches that we can seek, the better off that we'll be for the community and the better off we'll be to serve those who need us. So this is a way to deliver peace and comfort in situations where peace and comfort is probably needed more than an actual police officer in uniform, because we all know that we're not always able in a uniform to deliver peace and comfort. And so it's a tool. Sure. We're proud to have it. I'm so grateful for PFC Hoag for his dedication. I'm so thankful for all of our partners with Mutz and Merritt, the District Attorney's Office. Sadly, I'll probably forget to name one, but Sheets, Lowe's, Ray Benz Funeral Home, Ray Benz Shoemaker Funeral Home, Blaze Veterinary Clinic, and the list goes on and on as to the partners who have plugged in with us. And really, it's a program for the community, and it's driven by the community. So we're just excited to be able to facilitate it.
Axel meeting a few more folks?
Every day. Yeah. Every day he's out.
That's great. That's terrific. And he makes such a positive impression on people. It's something about a wagon tail that is going to be very, very helpful to folks.
Yeah. Kelly Cohen from Mutz and Merritt, she said it so accurately, and it caught me a little bit off guard, but she said, when people see a friendly dog, they start thinking with their heart. And when you put your heart into something, it automatically de-escalates the situation that you're dealing with. So lots of unintended positive impacts and some known intended positive impacts, but overwhelmingly solid program as I sit here to talk to you today.
Terrific stuff. Okay, so as this fall semester, or maybe not fall semester is the best way to put it, as this fall unfolds before us and we transition into the winter time, Indiana Borough Police will be continuing to move about in the community, and maybe things will be a little bit different as the weather turns a bit colder and you're able to get out and do what you do. But there will be plenty of opportunity for you to still be visible, and that's one of the things. You want to be a visible presence in the town.
That's right.
And even as the cold weather comes along, that mission remains pretty important, doesn't it?
Well, it remains of paramount importance for me. I mean, everyone should expect to see their officers on foot. You should expect to see we're continuing some traffic safety details throughout town. So I would expect you to see some increasing traffic safety efforts. We have a couple more special events. The Love of Life 5K is going to take place in Indiana. Mm-hmm. Veterans Day Parade, I believe, is in the works. And we, of course, have the It's a Wonderful Life Festival on the horizon. So we're going to be visible, and when we're not visible, we're still accessible. So I also want to highlight that everyone, even if you don't see a police officer or a police car driving around Indiana Borough, know that we're here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have some of the finest officers here in Indiana County, and I'm proud of the police department that I have. So we're going to focus on positive engagement. We're going to investigate all those things that we're paid to investigate. We're going to work towards community success all the time, and we're flexible to do that. And I'm just proud and humbled to be able to lead that effort.
We got a thing this morning that was on the desk when I got here today. It's a release about, and I don't even know what the source is of it, statistics talking about when a child is most likely to be abducted. And it's basically before school as they're on their way to school, after school right after as their way home, and then right after the dinner hour when maybe mom and dad are inside and the kids go outside to play. I know Indiana Borough Police, you pay attention to all of those types of things and those situations that come in, but it does really reinforce the need for people to know where their kids are at all times, and for maybe those kids to be around other kids so that they're not just by themselves and more prone to be a victim.
No truer statement, and I'm a father of 3 children, so it resonates well with me also. Police departments are many things, but we cannot be everywhere all the time. And we're at our best when our community is supporting us. And the best way to support us in that regard is to make sure, like you said, that you know where your children are, that they're always with friends, that we can take reasonable steps to keep our kids safe, because there's no tolerance for violence or exploitation of children. And so working together is always going to be our best path.
Yeah, especially with Halloween coming up.
Absolutely.
Special needs there because people will be out and about, and sometimes things can get a little bit out of hand simply because of the number of people that are out there. You can't be everywhere.
That's right. That's right. Dangers exist. Make a solid plan in your own household for best safety effort, and know that we will be out. Our partners will be out. And again, working together, I think, is our best path for community, peace, safety, and comfort.
And since we won't be talking with you in this setting again before Halloween, the call is always out to make sure that the kids remain safe and that drivers watch out between cars. Kids could be dashing out, and maybe they're not in reflective clothing, and that's always a concern.
Please tell your kids, watch at the intersections. We're going to be prepping motorists for being safe at the intersections. Stay in small groups. Let's not lose sight of the fact that there's still business in town being done on Halloween, and we want it to be successful for everybody. But we'll put out some safety tips one way or another before Halloween for the community.
All those good things. Chief Schawl, thanks so much for coming in with us.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.